meeting, June 25th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Hardy, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Madam President, there is an addendum to the
Agenda.
personnel.
Agenda.
There is an addendum to the personnel report that's at your place.
Okay.
And also, we will need an executive session this evening for non-elected personnel, and we'd like to have that before the executive session on negotiations.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion? Gary?
I move that we approve the agenda with the noted additions.
Second? Emma?
Doherty, second.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried, 7-0. Thank you. Next, we move on to recognitions and presentations, and I think we have a recognition and a presentation both. Dr. Hardy, would you meet me down here, please? These last 2 years have gone by very quickly, and as Dr. Hardy was just saying, we had a few bumps, but we managed those really well. I don't think there's any way at all we can express how we feel about the quality of care that you gave us during these last 2 years. It's been an honor and a privilege, and typically when the superintendent leaves, there's no gift giving or anything like that, but we felt like this was unusual and different and very, very special. So we do have something for you. And the board put this together. It wasn't from the district, but the board did this behind your back. So a person that's been a very integral part of this also, not sitting at the desk, but support system for Dr. Hardy is his wife, Jo. And Jo, would you come up? If it weren't for Joe, Dr. Hardy wouldn't be here. So I think that's enough said. And we appreciate all the times that you've shown up to put on flowers or to rearrange tables or all those lovely things that you do to make us feel comfortable and welcome. But especially for your support of Jim and being here, because Jim lives sort of here and sort of there, and you were sort of with him and sort of not. For 10 years. And I want you to know that you're very special to us as well. So this is our little gift to you, and we hope you love it. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wow, this is so nice. Oh, my goodness. Wow, this will look really good in my home office.
Good. And on the back, I do want to read what's on the back. Dr. Jim Hardy, interim superintendent for 2017-2019. Your positive guidance and generous spirit have brought us stability and renewed confidence in our future. Gratefully, USD 305 Board of Education staff and students. Yes, thank you.
Please allow the Board of Education to shake your hand.
If you want to, you can go through it.
Very well. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
great.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
We'll move on to approval of consent agenda items. Those include minutes of the June 11th, 2019 regular meeting, personnel report, financial reports through 6/17/19, treasurer's report, investment report, journal entries, and approved encumbrance listings, which include to Deere and Company in the amount of $21,348.09 for the purchase of a small tractor mower, to Johnson Controls in the amount of $25,000 for the annual service agreement for maintenance and repair of access control systems.
Madam President,
Yes,
I move that we accept the consent agenda as read.
thank you. Jim? Ann and Jim? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried, 7-0. Now is the time for public forum. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to come forward, they may do so at this time. Did you happen to fill out a green sheet? Huh? No, we'll get it. Thank you. I'm going to ask you to state your name, even though we know who you are. State your name for the record, and let me read this before you get started. This is a non-action public forum. I know that you have already read the guidelines for public forum, but I would like to read them for the public. Public forum is a non-action item on the agenda. The board appreciates patrons taking time to share with us about their thoughts and concerns. This is not appropriate time or place for patrons to make comments of a personal nature about any district employee or student. Persons making comments which violate the privacy rights of the district employee and students will be asked to stop speaking or cease their remarks. If a patron or parent has a concern with one or more employees, the board will refer that person to the appropriate supervisor or to the superintendent for further review. Thank you. Just state your name.
Ramona Malone.
Malone, yeah.
And unfortunately, I guess I'm going to disobey what I can't do because I am going to make remarks of a personal nature in just thanking Dr. Hardy. In April of 2017, the board made a decision and a selection for someone who would have the vision and the courage to lead USD 305. That decision was made, and Dr. James Hardy joined USD 305 as superintendent. He would sign his signature as Dr. J, which I thought was pretty funny, but then I was like, he's pretty tall, so that kind of works. You began to take on the task of leading a district that was hurting. But you look at challenges as opportunities you can't miss, not as stumbling blocks, not as obstacles. Your title was interim superintendent, but you had and have the mentality that I'm all in. I'm here permanently. Might be for just a short time, but I'm an employee. I'm a part of this district. That's what the district needed, was someone who was not just here to fill a seat, not just here to kind of keep things going, but someone who would, in fact, say, we can move forward. Bump in the road. We hit September. Again, it was an opportunity we can't afford to miss. You took that opportunity and gave leadership to the Equity Council. you are an amazing individual. Joe, thank you so much for sharing him. The prayer of this district is that you will just continue to do great things for anyone that you encounter. But I feel truly blessed to have worked with you and to now, not working with you, be able to call you my friend. Godspeed. Thank you again for sharing for 2 years your vision, your goal, your mantra. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to come forward? Thank you. I will move on to action agenda, which is to set a special meeting for the board retreat.
At this time, we just need to have a motion to set a special meeting for Thursday, August 1st at the Hilton Garden Inn for the annual board retreat.
Okay, could I have a motion? Ann?
Madam President, I move that we set a special meeting on Thursday, August 1st, 2019, at the Hilton Garden Inn.
And majority second?
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 7-0. On the discussion agenda, Professional Development Council Executive Summary. With Jennifer Griffin and Kathy Clark.
This is kind of a tough act to follow. Hi, I'm Kathy Clark. I'm currently serving as the secretary for our Professional Development Council, or what we call PDC. This is Jennifer Griffin, and she also is on the board, and she's our chair. We wanted to share with you a little bit first, so if in your packet you should have a flyer that looked very similar to this. This is the executive summary, and it is our proposed plan for the 2019 through 2024 professional development plan. This summarizes the key components of the council's plan. Additionally, you will find that the USD 305 Development Handbook. This handbook describes our plan along with procedural things for teachers to continue on for professional development, which allows them to recertify and anything that they might possibly need. Our PDC council is composed of 13 teachers and 4 administrators who are elected to represent a specific building or a group. Each elementary and secondary building has a licensed representative. The Central Kansas Co-op in Education has 1 licensed representative also. The PDC is to develop a district professional development plan for staff development that is approved by the local school board of education that meets the criteria established by the Kansas State Board of Education. This plan identifies how staff can earn points through staff development activities in order to fulfill teacher licensure.
As we began this process, we had 3 things that we wanted to accomplish. We knew that we wanted to create a document that was way more user-friendly. Our time has definitely come into technology-based instead of paper-based. And so the council would like to have everyone be able to use the document, not just have it sit on a shelf. So we knew we wanted to create the document that was more user-friendly. We wanted to provide more clarification and update our plan goals. So we did create an online document. It is not meant to be a printed document, which should help everyone have freer access to it. We did remove redundant information. There were several places where things had been said more than once. And we provided screenshots from the online platform because the online platform has changed multiple times over the last 3 years We're trying to make it very easy for people to use it as they come on as new hires. We provided clarification for often misunderstood or confusing parts. The state does not make it easy to fill out the plans, and now everything is housed online. So we are unable to make all of the corrections and additions unless we have the online document. So while our handbook can be printed, it's meant to be online. There's several links. As you notice in your handbook, they're underlined. Everything is hot linked so that it can go to various places in the document. So it's very fast and easy to use. We did create more careful alignment of the information, and finally we, again, provided the screenshots. We updated our goals and made sure that we had narratives to explain how everyone could earn their points that they needed for relicensure. And we are really working hard for teachers to understand all the multiple ways that they can get points now that there's so many diverse opportunities for learning. We did update finally our KISA goals, and we would like to be able to take any questions if you so choose.
Any questions or comments?
Madam President, may I ask the gals a question? Do you foresee any changes in this plan between now and the July meeting when this would come up for action?
No.
Bravo for doing that. I know that takes a lot of time to transfer all of that and to get it.
We were very thankful for a very snowy.
With the permission of the board,
Okay, thank you very much.
with the
for all
permission of
that.
the board, what I would like to do is move this to an action item.
Certainly.
All right. I would like to move that we approve the professional development plan for 2019-2024 as presented.
Second? Jim? A motion and a second. Are there any other questions or
I have a
comments?
question.
Ann?
Does this mean they have to change the executive summary? I mean, it says it's going to be approved on July 10th, and then it says,
No, we can oversee that if
is
you
that-
move it to action agenda with approval.
okay, I didn't want to mess them up.
I think they'd be ready.
We're pretty fluid.
They're ready.
We're good.
Get her done.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Gary?
I would just comment, I feel pretty comfortable doing this. I don't remember teachers or public coming to me between the discussion date and the action date on this issue before, so I'm comfortable going forward.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried 7-0. Have at it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oops. Moving on to school board reports and upcoming dates of importance. We do have Saturday, July 13th, USD 305 Classified Job Fair. And I'm looking at Aaron. At Central High School at 9 a.m. Correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Very excited about it.
great. With that, I'm going to start with Gary.
I would report only on one thing. It wasn't an official event of USD 305, but I did attend the River Festival on Sunday when the Joe's Pet Project, who's helped the Education Foundation with 305 Live, did enlist about 20 or 23, 24 high school students from Central and South to sing as a choir with them, and it worked out really well, and there's a lot of proud parents and a lot of good friends and everybody watching. They had a good time. So it was fun watching, as always, watching students do great things.
Jim?
The biggest thing, I think, is we've had 2 negotiation sessions that I've attended with yourself and Ann. And Aaron. And lots of good discussion there.
Yes. Anything else?
That's
Okay, Ann?
And that's all my report too, going to negotiation meetings.
Gabe?
We voted for a second time at our Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting on the baseball plan because of some confusion on the motion a year ago when we voted to approve it. So we've now approved it twice. Hopefully, we can stop talking about it. And Carol's going to give an update on our Board of Control, CKCIE Board of Control meeting.
Okay, thank you. Emma?
No report, just definitely want to support Access TV remaining in Salina, Kansas.
Okay, thank you, yes. Carol?
And this is largely information for the public, just a reminder that education for our challenged students is governed by a federal mandate called IDEA, which is Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And every year, the state of Kansas has to prove that it meets the guidelines for that act. And as a consequence, every district needs to meet the guidelines for that act. So I am proud to say that as of May 19th, USD 305 was issued a letter that says that we have reached the highest level of determination by meeting standards for all 14 indicators. And they're quite involved. So I think we need to be proud of ourselves and of CKCIE, the district cooperative that we belong to. And then, as Gabe mentioned, much of the time was spent on budget discussion, and rather than go into everything about it, I do think it's important to recognize that our assessment went up from the time we discussed it in April. So it is now close to $500,000, and that's a significant amount. But as Dr. Hardy reminded the group, CKCIE is one of the most efficient institutions in our state to provide services for kids. So again, we need to support them. And the other thing that I would mention is that Justin Coop, superintendent at Solomon, is elected chair for next year. Justin's really a fine, and I can say this, young man. My age allows me to do that.
Okay, is that all?
That's it,
Okay.
thank you.
I too want to share that I've been going to negotiations, and tomorrow we are already scheduled for one, and the board will be there from 12 to 5 or beyond, as happened last time. So we hope things are coming to a point of approval on both sides, and that things will be able to move forward. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. First, I do want to thank Mrs. Malone for the kind words. Serving with her on the Board of Education was one of our bonuses, one of the great things that I got to have when I first came here. Also, Mrs. Malone has been a wonderful supporter of our Equity Council, one of the folks that jumped on board right away, and we needed those people to help us get traction, so that was so much appreciated. I'd also like to share something. Last week, I had a visiting superintendent from another school district, a decent-sized school district, who was wanting to just come down and sit and spend the afternoon and visit about, you know, being a superintendent and being at a school district this size. And I gave him a lot of insight. He was wanting to make that leap sometime. And one thing I shared with him is one of the bonuses of being the superintendent of USD 305 is our executive team. When you're a superintendent of a smaller district, you are the transportation director. You are the maintenance director. You're the chief financial officer. You're the legal person, which means you call KSB every day. You don't have Aaron. You don't have Jennifer, so you are actually the public information officer also. You don't have Lynn. You have to find teachers that are willing to step up part-time. So I shared with him that is one of the best things that we have here, is that we have a very smart, talented group of executive directors that all show a lot of initiative. And, you know, they're the folks that are looking for ways to improve our district at all times. So I'm very privileged to have worked with them the last 2 years, too. They make me look good, so I appreciate that. And then, Madam President, the last thing I want to share is the other thing I just want to point out is one of the things that's been the joy of the last 2 years is working with the board as a group and as individuals. You are the board that superintendents hope for. That's what I tell people, you know, how's your board? Oh, man, I have the board that you wish you had. And the reason I say that is, you're a quality group of people, you care, you believe in leadership, your only agenda is to ultimately do which is in the best interest of our students and our staff, our families, and our community, and it's just all about giving back. And that's the kind of board we have. So I want to thank you for being that board. It sure has made me enjoy the last 2 years. And I know when I visit with other superintendents, they get tired of me bragging on you, but I have no problem with that. So thank you very much for being that Board of Education.
You're welcome.
That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy. For the public's information, this is Dr. Hardy's last board meeting with us, and we will miss seeing you sit there, but we do have someone in line right away who's sitting on the other side over here.
Exactly.
Waiting to jump into that chair, and I appreciate your leadership and your shepherding.
Thank you.
We will move on to executive session. We do need one. We have negotiations and personnel. Could we have a motion to go into negotiations?
Actually, we're going to do personnel first, Madam President.
Personnel, okay. We need personnel first then.
For about 20 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. Ann,
No break? I guess we could start at
let's start right at 5:30.
5:30? Okay. I move that the Board of Education go into executive session at 5:30 for 20 minutes for the purpose of discussing personnel matters of non-elected personnel and their contractual obligations. Because if this matter were discussed in open session, it might invade the privacy of those discussed. And that the Board of Education reconvene into open session at 5:50 in the board conference room.
Yes. Jim?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0. When we come out of executive session, if you want to stay around and see what happened, you're certainly welcome to do so and stay in this room.
You're welcome. You're welcome, hon. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
It has.
Always when you come in, it's always like, okay, everything's good.
Oh, listen to you.
Thank you.
We didn't have any problems, that's all.
That's because you're here.